The roots of this nation are pagan. After all, Greece was pagan, and our democracy, demos, comes from the roots of Greece. And that's why the White House is a pagan temple. Now, that's not actually totally true. I mean, yes, if you look at the front of the White House, it definitely draws on Greek architecture like the Pantheon, though very different. The Pantheon itself would have been brightly colored and had lots of sculpture. Not to mention, in the Pantheon, you did not have windows or these sort of window adornment or these columns. My point about all of those discussions about neoclassicism or classicism in federal buildings is if you say you want pure classicism, it's a very hard thing to point to because true classicism would have to have a very narrow span. This itself would be a bastardization of classicism, and we wouldn't want to bastardize things in the American government, right? And actually, the best thing about American life has been that we are innovative. If you're really trying to make America as great as it was when these buildings were built, they weren't building classicism from the past. They were taking the past and transforming it to make something innovative for the future. Our founding fathers were building the most contemporary buildings in their time, right? They were looking at what England was doing, the cutting edge English architecture, and trying to make it even more cutting edge. So it's not about adding a ramp or saying like we could keep the columns but then do everything different. Your idea that I could innovate it, your mind is doing what our founding fathers were doing, which was changing it. The problem with deciding we can only do one kind of architecture is one, no one ever can decide what classicism means because it keeps changing. And two, it goes against one of the best things about this country, being innovative and being leader. If we're building only one kind of things, we won't lead. Or maybe that's the point, to take this country to where they're no longer leading, which is opposite of what our founding fathers wanted. And to go back to where I started on this, we can skew history any way we want. I could have called all these pagan buildings. I think most people wouldn't. But that's actually the biggest problem about saying we want classical architecture, because you can skew it to your sometimes very narrow understanding of history, which will absolutely screw up the future and the future of innovation in our country.